Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that will make you question family loyalty. Story 1. My rich ex-wife wants me to be her free landscaper. So my ex-wife just asked me to mow the lawn at her house, and I can't believe I'm even considering this. Let me explain this absolutely bizarre situation. My ex-wife and I got divorced last year, but we're still in contact because we share a 2-year-old daughter. She's currently living at one of her parents' houses, which has an HOA that takes care of the lawn maintenance. But here's where it gets weird: her parents own another property in a town that's closer to where I live, and she wants me to cut the grass over there. Now, when we were still married, I used to help out with yard work at this property. It wasn't a big deal back then because, we were married and it felt like contributing to our family. But now we're divorced, and she's asking me to drive over there regularly to maintain their lawn. I told her no, that it doesn't make sense for me to be doing yard work for my ex-wife's family property. She completely lost it and started yelling about how I'm being selfish and unreasonable. She said I should do it because it would help her out, and since we have a daughter together, we should still help each other. But here's the thing, this isn't about our daughter at all. This is about free lawn care for a property that has nothing to do with me anymore. She could hire a landscaping service, or her parents could handle it themselves, or literally anyone else could do it. But she specifically wants me to do it for free. When I pointed out that she could pay someone to do it, she said that would be a waste of money when I could just do it. The entitlement is just incredible. She's essentially asking me to be her unpaid landscaper because we used to be married. I'm all for co-parenting and being civil for our daughter's sake, but this crosses a line. If she needed help with something directly related to our child, that would be different. But maintaining her family's property? That's not my responsibility anymore. My friends are split on this. Some say I should just do it to keep the peace, while others think she's completely out of line. The whole situation is making co-parenting way more complicated than it needs to be. Am I being unreasonable for refusing to mow my ex-wife's lawn, or is she asking way too much? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I'm giving my niece a life her step-siblings can't have. So I just found out I'm apparently ruining a blended family because I'm too generous to my niece, and honestly, I don't know what to think. Let me give you some context. I got really lucky in life. I joined a tech startup super early that ended up being worth over $1 billion. When it sold, I became very comfortable financially. Not billionaire level, but comfortable enough that I can share my good fortune with my small, close-knit family. My older brother Isaac has a 14-year-old daughter named Grace from a previous relationship. Grace lives mostly with her mom Rebecca but spends weekends with Isaac. Now, Isaac recently married Sarah, who has 2 kids of her own from a previous marriage. They're 12 and 10. Here's where the drama starts. I absolutely adore Grace. She's smart, funny, and we have this amazing relationship. Since I can afford it, I love spoiling her. I pay for her private school tuition, which is about $40,000 a year. I take her on incredible trips. We've been to Europe, Japan, all over the place. I buy her nice clothes, the latest gadgets, basically anything she wants or needs. I also set up a college fund for her that'll cover everything. But apparently, this is causing major issues in Isaac's new blended family. Sarah's kids are starting to notice that Grace gets all these amazing opportunities and expensive things that they don't get. They're asking why Grace gets to go to private school while they go to public school, why she gets these incredible vacations, why she has the newest iPhone while they have basic phones. Sarah approached Isaac about it, and now they're both asking me to either include Sarah's kids in everything I do for Grace, or tone down what I do for Grace so the other kids don't feel left out. But here's my perspective: Grace is my blood niece. I've known her since she was born. I have absolutely no relationship with Sarah's kids beyond being polite when I see them at family gatherings. They have their own extended family, their own grandparents, their own support system. Why should I be responsible for making sure they get the same treatment as my actual niece? I worked hard for my success, and I want to share it with my family. Grace is my family. Sarah's kids, while I'm sure they're nice, aren't my responsibility. Isaac says I'm creating tension in his household and that it's affecting his marriage. Sarah thinks I'm being deliberately exclusive and hurtful. But I think they're asking way too much of me. Am I wrong for wanting to spoil my own niece without having to include her step-siblings? Story 3. The Great Queso incident nearly ended my relationship. So I apparently committed the ultimate relationship crime yesterday, and it involved cheese dip of all things. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm actually a terrible person or if this whole situation is completely ridiculous. Here's what happened. I'm usually pretty strict with my eating habits, but every once in a while I have what I call a cheat meal day. It's my pressure release valve where I get to eat all the foods that are normally off limits. I plan these days out. I'll wake up early, go shopping for all my forbidden foods, or sometimes just DoorDash everything if I don't feel like leaving the house. I always ask my significant other if they want anything. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes no. When they say no, I usually offer to get them something anyway, but yesterday they were firm about not wanting anything. So I ordered my feast, barbacoa tacos, chips, and this amazing queso that I'd been craving for weeks. When the food arrived, I was in full cheat day mode. I demolished those tacos, and then I got to the queso. Oh my God, this queso was incredible. It was perfectly creamy, had just the right amount of spice, and I was in absolute heaven. I ended up eating every single drop of it. Every single drop. Well, my partner came home while I was finishing up, and they saw the empty queso container. Suddenly they wanted some. They asked if there was any left, and when I said no, their whole mood changed. They got really upset and said I was selfish for not saving them any. But here's the thing, they specifically said they didn't want anything when I asked. I even offered to get them something anyway, and they declined. So why should I have saved them queso when they explicitly said they didn't want food? They argued that I should have known they might change their mind, and that it's common courtesy to save some for your partner. They said I was being inconsiderate and that a good partner would automatically save some without being asked. But I think that's completely unreasonable. You can't tell someone you don't want food, decline their offer to get you something anyway, and then get mad when they eat all their food. That's not how it works. If you want food, ask for food. Don't expect your partner to be a mind reader. Now they're giving me the silent treatment, and I'm wondering if I'm missing something here. Is there some unwritten relationship rule about always saving food for your partner even when they say they don't want any? Am I really supposed to predict their future hunger? What would you have done in this situation? Story 4. I found out there's a boy at my daughter's girls-only sleepover. So I just discovered that my 13-year-old daughter's sleepover wasn't exactly what I thought it was, and now I'm wondering if I completely overreacted. My daughter Kate has two best friends, Liza and Chelsea, and they've been inseparable for a couple years now. These girls are pretty unique, they're super into math, science, and computers, more so than most of the boys in their class actually. But they still do all the typical sleepover stuff too, makeup, movies, gossiping, you know the drill. Chelsea's mom offered to host a sleepover at their house, and I said sure, sounds great. I dropped Kate off expecting a normal girls' night. But when I went to pick her up the next morning, I walked into the kitchen and there's a boy there having breakfast with the girls. I was completely caught off guard. I didn't make a scene or anything, just collected Kate and left. But once we got home, I immediately called Chelsea's mom. I told her I was surprised to see a boy there and that I would have appreciated knowing ahead of time. Her response floored me. She said she didn't think it was a big deal because the boy, who I'll call Sam, is gay and has been out since he was 11. She said he's basically one of the girls and that she saw no difference between him sleeping over and the other girls sleeping over. She also mentioned that she assumed I knew because Kate talks about Sam all the time. Here's where I might be the problem. I told her that regardless of Sam's sexual orientation, I still would have liked to know there was a boy sleeping over. Not because I don't trust the kids or think anything inappropriate would happen, but because it changes the dynamic of what I thought was a girls-only sleepover. I said that as a parent, I deserve to know who my daughter is spending the night with, period. Chelsea's mom got defensive and said I was being discriminatory and that I was treating Sam differently because he's a boy, even though his being gay means there's zero romantic interest involved. She said I was perpetuating harmful stereotypes and that Sam has enough to deal with without parents like me making him feel excluded. Now I'm second-guessing myself. Kate is upset because she thinks I don't like Sam, which isn't true at all. He seems like a great kid, and I'm glad Kate has such a diverse friend group. My issue isn't with Sam personally, it's with not being informed. But maybe Chelsea's mom has a point. Maybe I am treating him differently just because he's a boy, even though there's clearly no romantic component here. My husband thinks I'm right to want to know, but some of my friends think I'm being old-fashioned and potentially harmful to Sam. Am I wrong for thinking parents should always know exactly who's at a sleepover, regardless of sexual orientation? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.